Season 7.
Mhm. Copy link. Streams is done. Back.
So, have you started the stream?
Yeah, I've put the link in to the stream.
Okay. I'm following anyway, so I think.
So I've posted the thingy, so Reggie or Chaz will have to
Oh,
everyone.
you know, I've got the BPRL Twitch.
Oh yeah, for me it didn't work for some reason.
So do you want to stream on the BPRL Twitch instead?
Yeah, sure. Stream on the BPRL Twitch thing.
Alright. Yeah, because Reggie gave it me.
I'm gonna put. Should we do it like it's in two perspectives, like your perspective and mine?
Yeah, we can do if you want. I don't see why that's a problem.
Yeah.
Is it round 4, yeah?
Mhm.
I want to see if I can hear myself through your stream.
I think it should be fine because it should be on. I checked as well.
Yeah, I can hear myself.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that's good to hear then. So, who's obviously when I start the BP one,
Mhm.
I'll just say like hello and whatever, and
Mhm.
you know do the usual stuff that a commentator would do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Obviously.
but today it's just gonna be one of those days, ain't it, where commentate.
And then
Just,
I'm go back on Fortnite. That's what I'm doing.
yeah,
I'm going straight back on Fortnite
yeah,
because I was playing Fortnite and then I got the invite. I have
yeah,
16 drivers in, so.
yeah. We'll do a full quali then. That's good to hear. Tell me when the guys are ready and I'll start the BP stream.
Yeah. Your final
So,
driver.
when I start the BP stream, obviously, next race I'll give you the main comms. I'll be main comms for this race, like you can be co.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep switching it so it's fair.
Yeah. So like tomorrow for Prestige, if I don't know if you're commentating.
Nah, I won't be.
Oh, so it's just gonna be for Division 1.
Yeah,
Alright.
Division
Cool.
1 just for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
I only like to do Division 1 because it's like the fastest, ain't it? So.
Yeah, there's Audio Glass. I remember, I think it was him in Monaco, I think last season in Prestige, where he spun and smashed into the wall. Or that was probably someone else.
Alright, just tell me when we're in the garages and then
Yeah.
I'll start.
We have 18 in now.
So, what do you think's gonna happen in Fortnite tonight?
Well, the world's gonna obviously like go insane.
Yeah, the world will just.
Yeah. So, but what I don't get, why is everyone saying, oh, the monster is already free when Polar Peak isn't even existing? Meaning, that monster didn't even exist.
Well, because you know how we come flying out of the water in
Yeah.
like in the fight. I
Yeah.
reckon that's where it could be.
The thing is, he wasn't even in Polar Peak. He needs to be in Polar Peak at the start. Alright, before we go, I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm back. It is unrealistic, so.
Noise has just said, why not just co-coms instead of the two-way perspective?
Hmm.
I can see where he's coming from now, but it's up to you whether you just want to stick with what we've got.
No, it's fine. I think we should stick because it's probably because you may miss something and I might have seen it. Then people can see what happened if you missed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like for example, for the race, you can watch the start of the grid. I'll watch the back, so we don't miss anything at all.
Obviously, just keep switching to whatever's happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, on your stream. Hold on, I'm just pointing something to Noise. I'm trying to concentrate.
I think one more person needs to join, and then we're fine. I'm watching the stream on my phone just to like check everything. Settings. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da. So we're missing. So there's other people like that haven't chose a team yet. I don't think. Oh, Matt still needs to choose his team. It's probably because.
Yeah, he needs to get in the Mercedes. As well, I'm gonna go get a drink as well, so I'm hydrated.
Hmm,
So I don't dehydrate during the race.
yeah.
Alright.
Alpha. So we're just missing an Alpha Romeo and Alpha Tauri here. So. Thoughts on Zandvoort? Zandvoort's a decent track, except for like the S section after the first couple of corners. And we have the Alfa Romeo. Still need a Alpha Tauri.
Right, hello?
Hello.
Is everyone readied up yet, or
No, no, yeah.
opposite?
There's only like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3? No, 2 ready up. Readied up. I already see here AG the Gamer has atrocious internet. Because it's in red. Before we even started.
I think when you're in the lobby, your internet seems to be worse. I don't know why.
I think that is true, to be honest. A bit more people are starting to ready up now. It's
Yeah, I
4.
think we've
We're just
been given
missing
the
one
signal.
driver, but he'll probably join late.
I mean, I'd be happy with 19 drivers. I mean, like a year ago or something, I used to my old leagues used to average around 15 a race.
What do you mean by 15?
Like 15 people racing
Oh,
a race.
my racing league had a booming start, and then until we went to Silverstone, and it went horrific.
Well,
It was round 8. There was a big fight for the championship, and then there's this one guy who was somehow leading. He was in the Williams, and so the guy who was leading the championship wanted to take the lead. He wanted to go down the inside on going into the first corner, and then he hit him in the rear, and everything just exploded. Everyone was arguing. Everyone was backing each other up. Way more people starting to ready up. So
yeah, we've been given the signal to ready.
yeah, when we get the countdown, then I think you should start the stream.
Alright, just let me know when we're at the countdown then.
The countdown's just started.
Alright, okay.
Hopefully no one unreadies.
Nah, we should be okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people still haven't readied. Out of the 19, so 12 have ready up. 1, 2, 3. So Window, Praise, Lussie, Reggie, Alpha. Okay, never mind. We're going into Q1.
Right, I'm gonna send over the stream to share to Discord.
Yeah, I've already got the notification on Twitch that you're streaming.
Streams. Post.
I'm gonna watch both streams at once. Oh no. Can
Right, I've sent it in streams. Shaz telling me to
no,
send it to him.
I'm ready.
Um,
I'm ready watching it. I'm watching both my stream and your stream. Oh, it's raining. Here we
right
go.
then. Hello everyone, welcome back to BPRL Breakpoint Racing League, and this is the 4th round of the championship, and we're here at Britannia, aka Great Britain. We have 19 drivers here today on this fine Saturday afternoon, depending where you are in the world. But 19 drivers, obviously it's realistic division as well, so we'll get Red Bull being the fastest. Red Bull are currently sitting 1-2 in the championship, and they lead the Constructors' Championship as well. So they have had a fantastic first 3 rounds of the season. Can they continue this into the 4th round? We'll wait and see. Britain, the oldest circuit on the Formula One, Canada, also the most famous for racing. Used to be an RAF field back in the 1940s for World War II. And yeah, it is raining here today in Britain. Not actually, it's actually snowing in real life here in Britain. Well, was snowing, it's just ice now. But yeah, we have rain. And I am joined here with Nico as well.
Hello there.
Is it Nico or Nico? Just
Doesn't
to
matter.
clarify. All right. Yeah, just had to clarify that just in case. Right, so Nico, who do you think's going to win the Grand Prix today? Is it Lucy? Is Bo racing? No, I don't think
No,
Bo's.
Barrison.
No, Bo is not in today.
Personally, maybe Lusty can win again like he did, I think, in round one. But there is always not just Red Bulls that can win. Could be Reggie. Could personally be even STR Noise, as he's gone 3 for 3 in prestige for the Haas. Could be ASR Matt, but obviously the favourite going into this round will be Lusty. But I'm thinking it's going to be either Marco or Noise.
Bold prediction there from Nico. I think Lucy's going to win it again, just based off his pace at China. I'm just going off his pace at China. I only commentate the first round of the season, but now the laps are starting to come in here in this first qualifying session. OJB's had a little bit of a snap of oversteer on his outlap through Stoke Corner, and now coming through Club and Valley. He's going to start his lap on the intermediate tyre, which is projected. He is sliding around all over the place at the moment. We won't keep an eye on him for now. Alpha in the Red Bull, who's covering for Bo today. See what he can do. See what he's made of in that Red Bull car. I haven't got all the telemetry up. I forgot to do that as I usually. That's the first thing I do when I commentate a race. I usually get the telemetry up and all the data. But not today, I suppose. But Alpha is now coming through the old pit straight into Copse Corner, where Verstappen and Hamilton had a tangle back in 2021. And that caused quite drama for the rest of the season between the two protagonists, fighting out all the way until Abu Dhabi, which also caused controversy by Michael Massey. But Alpha is now coming through the last sector, through Stowe Corner, through the RAF straight, the Hanger straight, even, through Stowe Corner. Nice and easy through on the throttle, because you don't want to be taking too much throttle. It is not dry conditions. Now coming through Club and Valley, nice and easy on the throttle. Don't want to go too early, or else you will have your car going the other way. And that's a 35.7 for the Red Bull to start off our lap times here in qualifying today.
Yeah, that was a very good lap by the Red Bull driver, but it could always be improved as Window getting his lap invalidated. The next driver to cross the line will be Marco around the final corner, and he's going to go pedal to the metal to cross the line and go fastest by 7, almost 8 tenths of a second, and 134.9, and that is a great lap from the Ferrari driver.
Yep, so that's Ferrari going on top of Red Bull. Which is what we're quite used to these days in Formula One. Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. It was Mercedes, Ferrari, and now it's Red Bull, Ferrari. So how times change, uh, in the regulations and stuff like that. Red Bull and Ferrari have mastered the regulations from 2022. So you've got to give it to them. And the realistic car for Marco is going to help so much over Alpha, because Alpha he's not used to that Red Bull as he would be compared to Bo or Lucy. So Tom has gone into P3. Nicholas has gone second in the Alpine. Who else? Tom went P4, 36.3. Steps has gone 5th, 37.0. So the times are now starting to fly in this Q1 session. The Mercedes has come across the line, which was Aruglus. So, yeah.
So Steps obviously winning the 2-year anniversary Grand Prix last Thursday. So he wants to give another reason for the scouts of the team principals to put another reason in the notebooks for Steps, as Marco sets an even faster lap, a 134.5. A whole second faster. Windows probably gonna start his lap time here, going into I forgot the corner name, turn 1, into the first S, and he's going to go down into the loop as fast as he can go. And that is he's getting up the pace. Liam with an improper lap going P7, 10 seconds off Marco's pace. Windows rear slides almost off the circuit. Could have been invalidation, but not this time.
Window is just keeping his cool and composure as he heads through the hairpin of Brooklands and Luffield, and now heading down the old pit straight into Copse Corner. Easy flat, not through Copse though. It would be flat if it was dry conditions, as Noise goes to the top of the timesheets there. 4 tenths clear of Marco. Noise has got really good pace, as we've seen last season. Window now coming through Maggots and Beckett, as he is able to finish the middle sector. It's a 110.0 in the middle sector. There's a Ferrari in the way of the Alfa Romeo. Sauber is now down into Stoke Corner. Nice and easy on the throttle in gear 6. I would have gone down to gear 5. Oh, Window is coming to the pit lane, so that's quite interesting. He's invalidated as well, so that's going to put a bit of a trip to Window's lap time. But Shaz now has just gone purple through the middle sector. 10 minutes to go then in this first qualifying session. The Aston Martin now coming through Stoke Corner. Nice and easy on the throttle in gear 6, and on the throttle full on flat. Anyway, let's forget about that.
Yeah.
Now coming through the final corners on the throttle, what's it going to be? 35.6. So Noise's 34.1 is the time to chase then for everybody. Shaz in the Aston Martin only P5 ahead of Liam and behind Nicholas, so that's going to put a bit of pressure on Shaz in this qualifying session then.
Yeah.
Well, not just only in the session, but in the next two as well, because he seems clearly off the pace of the top two.
Yes, and there is an obvious visible gap here, and obviously Shaz, currently in the Alpine sandwich, wants to probably get out of that. We're going into these final sections of Q1. We're halfway past Q1, and ASL Matt making his way through turn 7, and round he goes into Woodland. I think that was, if I remember correctly. And around he goes down
Brooklands.
the Brooklands,
Yeah.
down the old pit straight. He's gonna obviously break into Copse Corner, as this is a very wet conditions. I mean, not as wet as you'd expect, like in USA last week on Sunday. But and that's someone Red Bull going off the track, probably to let ASR Matt through. But he goes back on track to get back up to speed. I believe that it was a Lassie. And ASR Matt round Stowe, he's going to try and, as most people, get invalidated after going a bit too wide and obviously getting that black and white flag. But going into Club and Vale now, STR Noise has already retired from the session. He's already confident. But around the final corner, ASR Matt, to put a time on the table, it's not going to be as quick. It's a 1:35.755. And is 1.6 seconds off STR Noise's pace, a sister team, not sister team, just a team that uses the Mercedes engines. And don't forget, this is realistic performance, and Mercedes should be up there setting good times, up with the Ferraris, McLarens, Red Bulls, etc.
Yeah, I just had to check whether it was Loughlands or Brooklands. I can't really. It's either one of the two. I know it's Luffield and then that hairpin, but I don't know if it's called Loughlands. I completely forgot. It's been a long time since I last did commentary before round one. I have took a bit of time off league racing and F1, so yeah, it's been a bit of a ride since round one, but I'm trying to get back in the groove of things, trying to get back into commentary again. It's been a bit of a long time, so I will have a few mess ups here and there, but that is just to pre-warn you guys and you as well, Nico. So yeah, it's hard, when you have a bit of time off, you can't get your words out.
Yeah, I just had that after going summer holidays. But
Oh,
anyway,
don't we all?
yeah. But anyway, last he's gonna make his way through Vale. and through into the final corner known as Club, and someone's joined, but we can't pay attention to that as Lassie goes third fastest, and Shaz goes P4, gets out of that Alpine sandwich, and is in a good position to maybe gonna give himself some more motivation. And if you never know, he could get a front row in Q3 if this pace continues, and he'll be even faster because the Aston Martin obviously had an amazing start in real life and then obviously slowly dropped down. But this is F122. Nothing really changes when it comes to car performance. They usually expect it's going to be the same. And Tig goes P8, crossing the line. Currently going into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, from good lap time there from the Williams of Tig as he pushes himself into the top 10. Praise the Fatty has come out for an outlap. What about Window then? As I'm trying to scroll all the way down to him, it's a bit of a mission too. Window comes across the line, P10. Nice lap from the Sauber there. Who else? The bottom four and still in the pit lanes with Reggie, Fatty, Cry, well, Plax, AG the Gamer as well. Marco is retired, Noise is retired as well. They're happy with their lap times. Window thinks he's safe. Well, that's a bit of a question to ask there for the Sauber.
He
I
could be
mean,
knocked out.
well, it all depends on everybody else's lap time at the end of the day. So he's just got to hope that he is safe. For now, P10 is enough for him, but he has got a massive margin over P12 and P16. So it's over 1 second to P16. So P16 of OJB in the Haas has got a mission to do if he wants to get out of that bottom five. Reggie will come out at the end of the session then, I suppose. Fatty has started his lap time. I think that was Plax who joined the session, actually, as well, just to inform me on that. Fatty has invalidated on his time, so he'll have to give up for now. There's an Alpine coming into the pit lane then. Patrick has gone P12. We didn't realise that, behind Tom. But this is the boring phase of Q1 now. Nothing's going to happen, and Alpha has come out. So this is what I like to call the boring phase of qualifying, because literally nothing happens until we hit that 0 mark, the checkered flag. Obviously, it's only Q1, so pole position is not decided until Q3. Alpha's just gone into the wall there on the pit exit, which is something you shouldn't really do because you're going at a speed of 50 mile an hour. I mean, I don't know whether that was just me then, but he definitely hit the pit wall there. Did he? Did he not?
I'm not sure, I didn't really see, but luckily there is no damage for the Red Bull driver. And however, Tig is already a 10th up on his sector 1, going through Luffield at the moment, down into Woodcote. Now I remember. Going around into, which is also known as turn 8, and he's going to go down the old pit straight, down into Copse Corner, and the Williams driver is going to bring all the speed he can to get the maximum amount he can get through Maggott and Beckett. Brakes at the apex, a little, goes off the brake and the accelerator. So there is moments where you obviously have to do those moments, and Tig misjudges it and goes off the track and is invalidated. So there will be no quicker lap for the driver in P8. And now also Praise, also going through Cops. 30.1 is his sector 1 time as he goes through Maggott and Beckett. So hopefully he doesn't do the same mistake as Tig did. And also, just like Tig, lets off the brake, lets off the accelerator, and through Beckett, he doesn't do the mistake. And DRS flap obviously isn't open as it is raining, and he gets the slipstream off the Red Bull driver Alpha. And now through Stowe, he's gonna get the maximum speed he can get. Don't go wide here. He doesn't. Rides on the curb a little, and into now Vale, and then he's gonna go down into Club to finish Club into his into to get over the line, and he's going to cross the line and go P11, which means now Glass is going P16 and OGB in 17th, meaning we have now two drivers in the knockout zone. Reggie and Kryplax are also out on track.
AG the Gamer has just started his lap time as well as he now comes down the first straight into Luffield, and that is completing his first sector. The McLaren now coming through the hairpin then, which leads down into the old pit straight, nice and easy on the throttle, and down the old pit straight into Copse Corner. As he flies into Copse Corner, lift off the throttle, just make sure you can get the exit you need, and don't invalidate, don't go wide because that will ruin your lap time completely. Now coming through Maggots and Beckett's, nice and easy on the throttle. Obviously it's raining, so you can't go on the throttle as quicker as you would in the dry. He has gone purple in the middle sector as well. AG the Gamer seems to be flying here on his Q1 time. Reggie and Plax have started their lap times as well, as a Mercedes going down the Hamilton straight now as well. I think that might be Matt going down the Hamilton straight. I could be wrong, but AG the Gamer needs to have a good final corner. What's it going to be? And he's gone into P6, so that records him as safe. It would definitely record him as safe. Let's have a look at Uruglas. Sorry if I do pronounce his name wrong, it's just so hard to pronounce. I think it's like some Portuguese name, I think. But Matt goes to the top in the Mercedes. Absolute cracking lap time to beat Noise there. But Noise is safe indeed. What about his teammate down in P18? It's going to be an absolute mission for the Mercedes to get out into Q2. As he comes through Copse Corner, down into Maggots, into then Beckett. Nice and easy on the throttle, obviously, in 5th gear. And now down the Hanger straight into Stowe. So, nice. Coming through Stowe corner. Is he going to push himself out of that bottom 5? That is what the Mercedes really needs here. He got knocked out in Q1 in round 1. Will he get knocked out in Q1 in round 4? As he comes round the final corner, he just needs a cracking final corner, and he's out of qualifying. That's him gone, and it's OJB's also out. So now we have our bottom 5 for Q1, which is Martin, Heruglis, Patrick, OJB, and Plax. Plax didn't manage to set a time. Don't know why. Don't ask me. But such a shame. Once again, the Mercedes out in Q1. That's such a big blow.
Yeah, it's very unlucky for the Mercedes driver, as his teammate obviously gets into Q2 and P1, so he will obviously have that higher level of confidence around him, which will maybe even push him to say an even better lap time than he has in this Q1 session. But obviously, this is BP Racing League, anything can happen, and obviously, someone else could maybe have that wrath of confidence going to Q3. Maybe someone new will get P1 into Q2 as they go into Q3, and obviously pole position is obviously still going to be a question. Who's going to get it? Because obviously Ferrari has the quicker pace in qualifying in real life, but we don't know how it really is in the BP Racing League. This is on realistic performance, yes, so it's going to look obvious for everyone to point fingers at Red Bull to get pole position, but looking at this Q1 session, it doesn't look the case.
Well, that is true indeed. Reggie did manage to get up into P5 as well, ahead of Shaz. 2 former teammates at Red Bull, 2 former champions as well. Reggie has won the championship a few times in that Red Bull. Obviously, being in Ferrari now, it's going to be a tougher challenge to get up into P1 these days, especially with how quick Bo and Lucy are, and Noise. And I reckon if Noise was in a better car than McLaren, he'd absolutely steal the show and just dominate. But the McLaren seems to have pace today, here on this Saturday afternoon, as we head into qualifying 2. So same procedure as Q1, the bottom five, which from 11th to 15th will see themselves out and will not take part in qualifying three. Still raining out on the track and in the pit lane as well, so we will still see intermediate tyres for the next qualifying session. So we've got 15 minutes of this, and then we'll have 12 minutes of the next qualifying session as well. I can see now that Lucy and Marco and Matt, they're all coming out of the pit lane, so the top three teams are all now out of the pit lane. Alpha still needs to come out, obviously. Matt's teammate out of the qualifying here today, so he will not take part until the race, which will be in around 45 minutes, no, sorry, about half an hour time. So he's got to wait 30 minutes until he can start getting back on the track again, which will be for the 5 red lights. Alpha now coming out of the pit lane, and there's a McLaren also coming out of the pit lane as well. So yeah, so that was an interesting first qualifying session then. But what will Q2 bring? That's the main question. There's an AlphaTauri in Q2, a Williams in Q2. Williams are more expected now in Q2. Same with AlphaTauri, Haas, Alpine, Aston Martin used to be never used to have the greats of cars, especially in 2022, because their 2022 car was a bit of a shambles, to be honest. But ever since Fernando Alonso came into the show, Aston Martin have had pace.
Yeah, that is very true, and also the one Haas wins, except from I forgot who already, but OJB. The steps after obviously once again winning the 2-year anniversary, going quicker than the likes of Olaf and Marine, has gone into made his way into Q2, and is probably prepared to maybe even get into Q3 with his amazing pace and obviously his 1 lap qualifying pace, as he got P2 in the actual qualifying on when it was one shot. And now around the final corner goes Marco to start his lap time.
Yeah, Marco now coming down the Hamilton straight into Abbey. Not flat through turn one as it would be in the dry, but he has run a little bit wide through the exit of turn one and now coming through turn three. Oh, he's got a massive slide there, and that's going to put a shambles to his lap time and say goodbye to that one, because his rear brakes locked. And yeah, that's just not what the Ferrari needed early on in this Q2.
Yes, it's very unlucky for the Ferrari driver, and the Red Bull driver, Velasquez, is currently top of the standings. He's going to make his way through into Brooklands, and obviously he's still keeping his foot on the accelerator, but now going around into Luffield, he's going to hope to not go wide, as many drivers have done that before in the history of this circuit. Not just BP Racing League, but just any racing league in general. Obviously, probably not in esports. Maybe it has happened once or twice. But he's lucky that he didn't validate going at the exit of Cops there. Going through Maggott and Beckett, he's gonna try and get the maximum he can to get the best lap possible and give himself a good run into Q3.
But now the Red Bull just needs to bide by his time. Now coming through Stoke Corner, Lucy is just giving it everything to get into Q3. It's so needed for the championship against Bo. And Bo will need to pick up the pace after round 4 if he races in round 5. Marco will obviously go to the top because he's the first person to set a lap time. Lucy goes to the top with the 34.4. I bet Marco will be absolutely distraught with that first run, but he will go again. Through turn 3, he didn't lock up the brakes this time, so yeah, he won't be too bothered. Matt now goes to the top by a few thousandths there over Lucy. So is this showing how close this qualifying, how Q3 will pan out? I don't know. Who will get pole? I don't know. But that's for Q3 to find out. And the F1 gods as well. So people have just got to hope to get into Q3 at least to set a good lap time. Praise the Fatty is now coming out. he's just only come out, so he's going to have to let people through. Noise has invalidated, so he will go again. AG the gamer has gone 36.6. Steps has gone 150.6. That is not the time that he will end with, hopefully, anyway. The bottom three are Liam, Window and Shaz. They have not come out of the pit lane yet. They are waiting for a free track to come around, and there's a Ferrari coming into the pit lane now. As you can see, as we're looking down in the pit lane, Ferrari are coming out. The Ferrari mechanics are now coming out to pick up one of the Ferraris. But anyway, that's not going to interest us for now. Matt has had a very good first run there, same with Lucy. Lucy now diving into the pit lane. And Window now coming out for an outlap. What about Noise then? He's now coming down the first straight down into turn 6. And yeah, Noise. Oh, he's got a bit of a tank slapper there, has the McLaren. Noise won't care though, he's still got the car alive. A bit of a wobble through the exit of Luffield and Lucklands as well. But now coming down the old pit straight into Cop's corner. Not flat out, obviously, which is a shame. But yeah, that's the wet weather for you. Alpha has gone to the top there with a 34.2. Can Noise beat that? He's invalidated, actually, so never mind, he won't beat it now. But Window in this Sauber has got something to show for then. He's wearing a Red Bull helmet in a Sauber. Okay, fairly interesting. But yeah, first runs are finished now in Q2. We're just waiting for the bottom 6 to get their lap times over with.
Yeah, so I luckily got to see that lap from Alpha, and so that was a very good lap. He was up in the purple sector 2. I saw that as well. He was really channeling his speed through there, but now it's Praise going through now into Aintree. Round he goes, which is also known as turn 5. Praise also goes a little bit wide, which is the spark of his invalidation. However, is anyone else going on a lap time? I believe Steps is going through Cop's corner, going as fast as he can with the Red Bull of, I believe, yes, it is Alpha, ahead. I don't know if Steps, this is a proper lap. It looks like it is. His fuel is running, obviously a bit low, but we'll find out. No, it's not a proper lap. That is not ideal. Window, however, sets what could be the purple sector 1. We don't know if that's for sure. Yellow flags in sector 3. I believe that was Alpha letting by Steps. As Window goes down the old pit straight into Woodcote. And he's going to go Woodcote, I don't know how to pronounce it. But going now into Cop's corner. He obviously needs to brake for this one. Still gear 7. Goes wide and invalidates.
Ooh. Unlucky for Window, I suppose, but that's the game, unfortunately. That's Formula 1 these days. The track limits are much stricter than they were about 10 years ago and more than a decade ago as well. But that's the game, unfortunately. You can't change the rules, but the invalidations will fly in, as you know. If you go wide, that's it. That's your lap done, unless you take your foot off the throttle for about 3 seconds. But that's qualifying for you. You've got to get up and deal with it. The race is more important than qualifying. Qualifying does not give you points, remember, so the race is what matters the most. Window will go again as he's now coming down the final corner into the Hamilton straight and now into Abbey through turn 1 and turn 2. Window will go again. We've got 5 minutes left of this Q2 session. We've got around 20 minutes until the race will start, so if you want to leave and tune back in for the race, you can. That's entirely up to you, unless you want to see the grid positions for... Oh, Window! Having a little tank slapper there. He's fighting the car ever so ferociously. But that's what happens when you get put in a Sauber. You're just going to have to fight and fight and fight. Same with the Mercedes cars. The Mercedes is not very fast at all. He's gone wide as Window. He's going to have to abort his lap, unfortunately. No, he's still going. He still wants to set that lap time. He's willing to not give up at the moment. He's now coming through Cop's corner. He's got He's gone wide again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You can't go wide at these corners. You can't go wide at the exits, or else, yeah, they're just going to be strict on you. The FIA do not mess around these days. Uh, there's a Ferrari behind him, and that must be Marco because Reg is in the pits, and it is Marco. He's going for it again. He seems to be going faster at the moment. He seems to be very, very strong on the pace. Marco now coming through Stoke Corner and down into Club or Valley. And now through the final corner, nice and easy on the throttle. Don't want to go flat to the floor straight away. And that, oh my word, what a lap time that is from Marco. That's seeing him into Q3 for sure.
Yeah, it's almost a 132 surprisingly. It's almost a second ahead, 5 thousandths less than a second ahead of Alpha. And now, as you said, it is the boring period at the moment. I know we obviously see drivers on their outlaps, but no one's really going to start lap time. It will be Liam, which will start the lap. We're going to do you can say a full kind of, you can say full commentary of his lap time until he invalidates. That's what I usually do. That I don't believe that's this and next lap, but going to Vale now. He's gonna try and get his speed. He's going to go into as fast as he can to kickstart his lap time here. Going down into Abbey known as turn one. Down he goes. Has to brake a little as it is in the rain and goes a little wide but keeps his line. Hits the apex of turn two and down into the loop. He's going to try and get all he can, and ERS is obviously turned on here on the hot lap and round he goes. He's going to go into Aintree now. He's now going to go also down the Wellington straight, but he spins round. He spins at the exit of Aintree, misjudges the accelerator button, and just spins round. The Aston Martin of, I believe, Shaz, right behind him. No, it's Shaz's teammate, Praise, on in his outlap, seeing the Alpine spin right in front of him.
Yeah, it's a shame for Liam, I suppose, but that's traction for you. You can't get away with these things on the throttle, off the throttle, and with the ABS as well. Formula One is not an easy sport at the end of the day, so you've got to manage your time and you've got to manage what you can in the car. These are some of the hardest cars to drive in the world, really, and they've got so many buttons on them. You just have to know what time to use them and what time to have the placement for every single thing on an F1 car. But that's not what we're focusing on for now. We're focusing on who's going to be the bottom five at the moment. These drivers are too skilled to know what the buttons are on their MFD touchpad things. It's all hydraulics these days. Back in Ayrton Senna's day, they'd have gear shifters and it'd be like a road car wheel, and they'd just, have one hand on the gear stick and one hand on the wheel. That was good Formula One, that was. It was proper racing. Noise goes to the top anyway with a 33.2 in the McLaren. And saying that, Senna used to race for McLaren as well, as we all should know that. The famous Brazilian driver. But Window's going to go again. So that's his second run, I believe. We've got 1 minute left, and he's invalidated already. He's out of qualifying. That's it for Window. He's gone. He is out of qualifying. He's invalidated already, and that's not going to see him into Q3. So goodbye for now, Window. What about Shazan? He's heading through into turn 3. Just misses the apex there. It's so important to hit the apex on every single one of these corners. You don't want to be hitting the massive sausage curb, or else you will be seeing yourself spinning into the grass. But Window has decided to retire, which is fair enough. Shaz has gone purple through the first sector. He's set at 29.5. You can see a little bit there. The track is starting to have a few dry patches. It's still raining. I reckon it will rain for the rest of the session. There's a spinning Mercedes, and there is Alfa Romeo stopped on the side of the road there. Matt has taken a trip to the grass as well. Shaz now coming through Cops Corners. An Alpine right in front of Shaz. The traffic is insane here at Britain so far. You know, you'd expect this at a track like Monaco or Monza or even sometimes Las Vegas as well. But Shaz now coming through the middle sector. He goes 108.3, so that's not a bad middle sector. This should see him through into the next part of qualifying, unless there is a shock horror here for the Aston Martin. But let's not hope for that for Shaz. There's a McLaren in the way as well, was anyway. But now coming through the final sector, the final few corners, these are going to be such crucial corners. Qualifying 2 has officially ended. Here today, a bit of a tank stopper there for Shaz, but he still sees himself into P4 ahead of Alpha, who can only still manage a P5. Matt can only manage P6. Lucy only P7. That's quite slow there for a Red Bull. Tom has gone into the top 10, but who can knock Steps out? Nicholas has knocked Steps out of qualifying, unless Steps can think of something to get Tom out of qualifying. AG has been knocked out. Liam's been knocked out. Fatty's been knocked out. But can Steps knock Tom out of qualifying? This is going to be so crucial for the Haas driver as he now heads through the last few corners. It's going to be so important for the Haas to not make a mistake as he heads round the final corner, down the Hamilton straight, gets a bit of oversteer. He is out of qualifying. No, the Haas is out. So unlucky. Tom just about gets into Q3.
So that is very unlucky for the Haas driver, and obviously this has been a very, you can say, very also distant qualifying. Like loads of drivers were farly densely spaced out, sparsely around the circuit. If you take into account what's the actual you can say on the circuit. Obviously Liam, 19 seconds. He didn't get to set a proper lap time on 153.201, which will definitely not see him go into Q3. And looking at the race director, we've had lots of invalidations. That's I can see maybe 6, 7, 10 invalidations, and then one this and next lap. So it has been the occasional this and next lap invalidations, but not very consistently. Not seen it in a bit, but we have only 2 teams with both of their drivers going into the next qualifying session.
So yeah, talking about the invalidations as well, there are a plentiful of invalidations to see there on the race director, especially on people's first laps as well. It is still raining out on the track, but will it dry up anytime soon? That's going to be the main question to ask within these last 12 minutes of qualifying. But that's all that matters. It is now the race for pole position between 10 drivers, and I reckon there will be a 5-way scrap for pole position here today. The rest of the 5 will be fighting for P6, probably at best, but it's game on.
Yes, it is, and obviously everyone is going to have that one opportunity. Hopefully, some drivers obviously maybe will stay in the pits and wait for the track to clear. We've seen this happen before, but the first man out on track will be ASR Matt, the lone Mercedes, as his teammate got knocked out in Q1, P17 I think if it was, uh, which put down Patrick into P18. Speaking of Patrick's teammate Tig, also out on track, closely behind ASR Matt, followed by Lucy in the Red Bull. His teammate Alpha sitting in the pits, not going out just yet. Followed by that is Peace Control Tom in the Alpha Tauri. He is also alone while his teammate Cryplex joined late and is starting from the back of the grid. Followed by the Alpha Tauri, we have Marco. Obviously set that humongous lap in Q2 with then Estiano setting an even faster one. And then after that is an Alpine, and the Alpine is Nicholas, while his teammate Liam, as I said, couldn't set a proper lap time on the board in Q2, meaning he's all alone, the Alpine. And then Estiano is, while his teammate I think also got knocked out in Q2. And then it is Alpha who just made his way onto the track, and then it's Shaz just chilling in the pit lane.
So 9 drivers are on outlaps. Shaz is probably just waiting for a clear up to happen for the drivers. Obviously not on the track because I reckon it will rain for the rest of the session. Hopefully we will have um, a dry race. So that will mean probably a soft to medium strategy, which would be quite fun to see. We
Hmm.
haven't seen that before, actually. We haven't seen that this season, actually. A soft medium, I don't think. Prove me wrong if there has been a rainy qualifying session in round 2 or 3. I've only commentated round 1 so far, so that's
I've only commentated pre-season and this. In Prestige, there was a raining qualifying in Prestige last round. And also, looking at the tyres here, STR Noise is on the wets. I mean, I don't know if he's doing this properly to be on the wet tyres, but that is a very interesting move to go on the wets here in the rain.
it doesn't look like wet conditions though.
Exactly. So I'm really confused. Is STR Noise just trying to see what could be best? Maybe the wets could actually be quicker in these conditions because obviously, when you have those like tires and they show you the gaps, like that isn't always true. As obviously, yes, maybe something could be faster, but what if the older tire that you could use, or the tire that is like maybe soft, mediums, hard, and for example here intermediates and wets. What if the wet is actually better to use than the intermediates?
Well, we will soon find out as he now heads down into turn 1 of Abbey's already gone wide, so this is already saying something for the tyre compound already, and you can see he's struggling to turn in a little bit. He has had a, unless he's just got like no fresh intermediates and he's like waiting for the fresh intermediates to come at the end. So that's what I'm guessing. Tig has gone to the top, 35.3 to Williams. He's in a Williams, so it's not going to be the fastest of all time. I can't see him getting a pole position from that, as you can see. Lucy 33.1. That is the time to beat then for the top 5 runners. Matt only goes 34.6, so that's not the greatest of times. Tom has gone 34.9, he's gone ahead of Tig. Marco goes 34.4. That's a very good time here from Lucy because they're all struggling at the moment on these intermediates. But what about Noise? What can he do on these wet tyres? This is a very bold strategy here from the McLaren, but we'll see how it pans out. But yeah, he is struggling quite massively, and he's already down on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, I suppose. But yeah, Noise might just get the delta on the board for the intermediate so he can just see green. I mean, that's a fair option. You don't want to just like see red on your delta, which is fair enough. But Noise now comes around the final corner, nice and easy on the throttle, 37.8. So yeah, the wet tyres are not the way to go then for Noise, unless it rains more heavier. But you can see that it's getting drier, and it does indeed look like the rain is slowing down a bit more. But Reggie, Alpha, and Shaz, they're now on the track, so they're on the intermediate tyre. They might go all the way to the end to the checkered flag, depending on how much fuel they've put into the tank for them 3.
Yeah, and also Reggie earlier had a bit of a snap. Now he's invalidated his lap time, but Reggie had a really big snap earlier, going I think down the Wellington Straight at the exit of Aintree, which is also known as turn 5. And no, it's actually kind of shocking that something like this, some mistakes like this are happening across Division 1 drivers who, I mean, I get it's raining, but it is Silverstone, one of the most known tracks, and especially on F1, is basically in every racing league calendar. In any racing league that you could race, it's probably in every racing league that I've commentated or raced in, and it's always Silverstone's there, and it should be, um, it should just be known how to drive on it.
Well, yeah, I suppose every league is the same, isn't it? Putting Silverstone on the calendar. But anyway, Alpha has just gone and made it a front row lockout for Red Bull. So the the three drivers that were at the bottom three, Alpha is the only one who set the lap time out of the three. But Reggie and Shaz, they've come straight back in. Noise, he just wants to see green on his Delta, which I don't blame him to be honest. He should go out on the intermediates. If he don't, I will be very surprised. But yeah, at the end of the day, you've just got to try the intermediates, see what happens. If you have no inters left, then what can you do? It's just the way it goes, unfortunately, for the the McLaren driver. So I mean, what can these guys do if they don't have intermediates? As Norris thinks, go on the wets, which is fair enough. But we'll soon find out if he had another set of intermediates really, and just use the wets for a delta time to get on the board. But yeah, we don't want any spoilers off the drivers to see whether it's raining or whether it's not raining in the race. We'll keep that. We'll keep that for us to find out here in the comms box. Alpha needs to get straight back out ASAP, or else, yeah, that's theoretically his qualifying done and dusted for this Saturday afternoon. But Noise on the inters, so I knew it. He'd just go out there for a delta time. So don't really blame him to be honest, but he did survive on those wets. Got a lap time on the board, 37.8 for his time. He's using the MotoGP penalty thing for some reason. That's quite interesting from the McLaren. You don't want to be using MotoGP sections because that's not part of Formula One, unfortunately. But if you want to get rid of your penalty, then go to the stewards about it, I suppose. But yeah, anyway, there are 3 minutes left of qualifying here today. And then afterwards, we'll move straight onto a 50% race. It's not 100% races because they're just too long and the drivers will eventually get bored. 50% races are enough for people in this day and age. So 100% races used to be the main thing in league racing. Back in F1 2011, everyone used to do 100% races. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's just 50%.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, this is what it all comes down to. The fight for pole position, there's a massive gap between Lucy and Alpha. Noise needs to find a whopping 4 seconds out of nowhere to see where he could put his McLaren onto. But who do you think is going to get pole position then, Nico? Tell us.
Yeah, I'm thinking it will be one of the Red Bulls, obviously determine their qualifying pace. But I'm feeling in the race they will be doing some mistakes like they did last year in real life in Bahrain. Remember them both at the end just DNFing, and we have 26 laps of the British Grand Prix in Silverstone, and Reggie, going through Abbey, has started his lap time. Hasn't put a lap on the board yet, and he goes into the loop, hits the apex cleanly, clips the sausage curb a little. Shouldn't really cause any troubles, but going through now into Aintree, almost invalidating there. And he's going to go zooming down the straight as fast as he can, pedal to the metal, and that red Ferrari, that scarlet red Ferrari, is going to make its way through Brooklands down into Luffield and a bit wide off the racing line, I think, and drifts a little as well, going into Woodcote down the old pit straight. You can see the dry line of drivers weaving there, but going into Cops Corner, and as you said, Alfie, there is a dry line being created here, which could, yeah, obviously impose a threat to interties because maybe a bit too long on that dry line could send you spinning into the barriers. So you have to come up with new racing lines, and it's purple sector 2 for BP Reggie, and we don't know that exactly because sometimes it just says it's purple even though it's not purple. But around Stowe, he's going to go into now Club and Vale, down into gear 2. He's going to hit the apex on Vale, hits the apex on an extra chicane. Don't go wide. hits the apex, his wrist slides, but goes fastest at 1:33.150, and that's a great lap from the Ferrari driver. And the next to cross the line will be the McLaren of STR Noise.
Good lap time there from Reggie. That's what he really, really needs. But can Noise steal and spoil that Ferrari party as he heads round the final corner? Has the McLaren done it? Yes, he has. I bet you he can do it. And he is onto provisional pole. Marco steals the show off the McLaren and goes on to provisional pole. Noise will not get pole position here today. Reggie is just about up on his first sector time, but what about Lucy? What can he do? The qualifying session starting to spark into life a little bit now, but Lucy's only 1/10 up on his personal best in the middle sector, unless he had a really shocking last sector. But we're into the 32s, that's all that matters. The trackers acclimatised so much that the evolution has just of the lap times has just absolutely skyrocketed. Matt goes up into P3. What about Lucy as he heads round the final corner? He won't get pole position, but he's onto the front row at least. What about Reggie then? Can he do it once again? No, he can't, because he is down on his lap time. Nicholas goes up into P6. What about Shaz then? What can he do? He's now heading round the final corner. Shaz to the line, goes P6 ahead of Nicholas, and that wraps up our qualifying session. So Marco on pole position for the British Grand Prix.
And that's for qualifying, and that was a very good session, while also Reggie spun a slow. But here we go into the race. This is where the real deal begins, and hopefully we have a clear sky for, as you said, a soft to medium strategy, which would be very interesting here in a 26-lap race around the Silverstone circuit. And probably 129s will be set in the Grand Prix if it's dry. 132 currently in qualifying. So let's look again into the incidents, and you can see there's way less invalidations, 5 to be exact, and compared to the last two qualifying sessions, as obviously the drivers who sadly had invalidated their lap way more were knocked out in Q2 and Q1. But here we go into the race, 26 laps of around 1 minute 30 lap times. Here we go.
Well then, I do just have to point out about Marco's fantastic lap time as well. 5.5 tenths clear of Lucy. What an absolute incredible lap time that was from the Scuderia Ferrari. But now, this is where it all begins. Will it be dry? Will it be wet? That's going to be the main question we'll be asking here today for the British Grand Prix. What is it going to be? That's going to be the main question. Come on, learn. And it's a dry race. Get in. Don't we love to see these?
Yeah, it is. You can see here barely any clouds in the sky. What would this game would say it is Sunday to in Silverstone, but we're gonna go ahead into the Grand Prix, and let's see what happens. Who will be the race winner today?
So, the same procedures then. The formation lap will begin here at the British Grand Prix. So let's have a look at the tyre strategies then that people have decided to go for. So a few people on the soft compound tyres to start with, and the top 5 on the mediums. Shaz starting on the hards. There's only 3 people on the hard compound of tyre, which is Shaz, Patrick and OJB. 3 people on the soft. There's actually 1 more hard runner as well, which is the steps. There's 3 people on the soft compound tyre, which is Nicholas, Alpha, Praise, and that's it. And the rest are on the medium compound. So it's either hard to medium, soft to medium, or medium to hard. So either way, it's a one-stop strategy here today at the British Grand Prix. We have 26 laps here today. As usual, 20 drivers will line up on the grid, as we like to see. 20 drivers it's always giving people the chills as the five red lights will go out. But championships will not be decided until the last round, or even further possibly, for Lussi. But he will start on the front row alongside Marco, so it's all down to whoever gets the better start today is basically going to be the winner. But obviously these things do change over a course of a Grand Prix. Let's get rid of all of the data apart from, actually let's keep it this way. I like to keep it this way. But it's the top three we've got to watch out for today. Maybe even the top six. Shaz will be slower though. Here are the possible race strategies then, as you can see on the screen. So it's either a soft medium between a lap 11 and 13, or a medium hard between lap 11 and 13. The hard runners will go till around lap 13 to lap 16 then, as they will have the longevity on the hard compound of tyre. But now we are starting to line up here on the grid for the British Grand Prix, and you will be disqualified from the formation lap if you do not get this parking correct, and you will start a bit further back, as Alpha has just done there. So that is what happens if you don't get the parking correct. And Shaz, I don't know what he's doing there, but now it's all down to the five red lights. People are getting disqualified for not parking correctly. But now, as you can see on the screen, the five red lights will show at any moment now, as all 20 drivers have lined up for the British Grand Prix. And the lights will now show here right now. And the lights are going out. Five red lights. It is lights out and away we go. It's pedal to the metal here in BPRL, and that's a very fantastic start there from Lussi as we head down into turn one. Lussi takes the lead here of the British Grand Prix. We can look behind us. Noise is trying to get past Marco as well as they go side by side down into turn three. There's a bit of pushing and shoving in the background as well. Lussi has set off free. No, he's gone deep. Something's happened to Lussi as he's now down in P19. Noise takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. Lussi, that's going to affect his championship, and now into the lead. It's a Ferrari 1-2. What has happened to Noise there? He's gone a little bit slow, but now it's 1 and 2 for Ferrari, for Marco and Reggie, and the McLaren has to bide by his time and deal with the position. For now, Shaz has made up a position as well. Matt has lost a position. Tig has gained a few positions as well. But it's all kicked off here at the start of the British Grand Prix as we now head down into Cops Corner, and all the drivers are squabbling for the positions at the moment. Tig and Matt, they're going at it. Tig and Alpha are going for it actually, as the time screen saying Tig and Matt are scrapping out for P5, but that's not the case. Matt is trying. Oh, there's a massive contact at the back of the field there between Window and Patrick, and now they're down in P19 and 20. There's broken front wings. There's pieces of carbon fibre all over the shop at the moment, and somehow the safety car has not even a VSC's been brought out. Matt has got ahead of Shaz, and something's happened to Tig as well. They're all squabbling at the moment for a top 10 place. Look at the drivers, they're all going 3 wide and 4 wide sometimes. But that's how you like to see the racing. It's all clean. Alpha getting a bit of a tank slapper there. But what do you make of that start, Nico?
I think it was a great start until there was this moment where I think it was Patrick and Liam where going into Brooklands, they made contact which pushed Liam off the track and Patrick himself, but Liam kept back into racing speeds and got up into P13. Lussi, however, has gone from P19 to P10, so he's making time back really quickly. And Liam, with the pace, overtake on and down the old pit straight. He's going to try and go down the inside of the Scops corner. No, slides behind. STR Noise, however, he sees the two Ferraris ahead of him going into Maggots and Beckett's. They're going to now go down the hanger straight. We're about to have DRS this lap time. We have the first penalty of the day. It is Martin. However, STR Noise down the straight. He is going as fast as he can. Pedal to the metal going to Stowe. And now he is right at the rear of BP Reggie, going down now into Club. It will be Vale actually. Sorry, going now into I believe turn 16 and down into Vale Club. Jesus Christ! And it is a 1:30.1, which is the fastest lap. Set by STR Noise on the mediums, and DRS is enabled. And as we're gonna go down the Wellington Straight, as in, I mean, they're currently going through the loop, but as they go down the Wellington Straight, it will be DRS for Reggie, STR Noise, and this will
And sorry
be.
to interrupt you here, Nico, but there
Mhm.
is absolutely massive scrapping going on here for the positions between P7 and P10. They're all fighting for it. It's two Alpines going side by side. You know, when two Alpines go side by side, it's never ending well. But this time, it ends quite well because the Alpine with the DRS gets ahead of his teammate. And Liam gets ahead of Nicholas. Oh, Nicholas getting very close to that rear of his teammate. But now back to the front. Matt sits 2 seconds behind the top three. That's how you know the pace is there in the top three. Reggie is defending for his teammate here and the championship. Lucy all the way up into P6 all of a sudden. He's really making the comeback drive. He's really starting to make his move. He's really trying to get the positions back up the field. But you can tell the pace is there. Reggie goes side by side with his teammate of Marco. There's Noise as well getting involved. Oh, little bit of contact. And Reggie gets pushed onto the curb somehow. Still in this. Still P1. Reggie takes the lead here of the British Grand Prix. Noise into P2. Marco's been pushed down to P3. But the top three are fighting like there's nothing. Like there's nothing to lose. Like it's a championship finale or something. But that's what you like to see early on in the season. You like to see a few scraps here and there. And you just need a bit of action. And you need action toward the end of the season as well. But who's going to win the championship? That's going to be the main question. But firstly, we've got to see who wins this race.
Yes, and obviously down the Wellington Straight, the top three all have their DRS train again, and Marco needs some time to be regained as Noise is going to try and re-overtake Reggie and get back into P1 where he was at the start of this Grand Prix. But round into Luffield, they're going to go down into Woodcote. Liam, let's go a bit further down the order, and Liam found some space to overtake Tig. Tig closes the door, and now Liam has the pace once again, going down the old pit straight, going down into Cop's Corner, and now Liam will have the outside line, and Tig is the switchback of Dreams on down the straight before Maggot and Beckett's Liam and Tig side by side, and Liam is ahead of the Williams driver, and that's a great move by the Alpine driver. The number 34 Liam is up into P8.
Yeah, and that's the Alpine. But the Williams is now going back at him again, and Tig is fighting back with like there's no tomorrow. He's trying absolutely everything to stay ahead of this Alpine, but Liam has so much pace in his Alpine that it's going to be a bit of a problem. But now Lucy is gaining onto Shaz, I think. Yeah, that is correct. But Shaz is also gaining on Matt, and then Matt is also gaining on Marco. But Noise is trying to think about it down the inside of Reggie. Reggie just has to use a little bit of defence there to cover off the McLaren. But we're back to the good old days where Ferrari and McLaren used to scrap it out for championships from about, Noise is testing out his wing. I don't know why. But there's no need to, if I'm being honest. But he's right up the rear of Reggie. And I think I know why he used the flap to open it and then disabled it, because he would have caught up to Reggie too much and probably even made contact with him, because you know how powerful DRS is these days. Shaz gets ahead of Matt. Matt has lost the position to the Mercedes power worker as well, Aston, and steps is out of the Grand Prix, and that is our first full course safety car here at the British Grand Prix.
Now, I couldn't really get to see what happened because I was so focused on STR Noise and Reggie, but all we know is it's a safety car and everyone will now be back bumped up together. Going now into lap 6. We have 22 at the moment, laps to go, almost 21. But at the brink of this Grand Prix, STR Noise already diving into the pits. That is a bold move from the McLaren driver. And the question is, what tyre is he going on? Marco following suit. ASR Matt as well. Lussie as well. So is his teammate Alpha. And that's going to be a double stack for the two Red Bull drivers. And anyone else, and it's a lot of the drivers actually going into the pits. There's Kryplax, Nicholas, Liam, so there will be another double stack. It's the two Alpines, but at the moment, Reggie keeps his lead, followed by Shaz and then Tig. So Williams has slithered his way into P3, and that is from 4th to 16th. They have all pitting, and obviously OJBDAI is going to go into now the final corner, while STR Noise on the hard compound tyre on the I think it's C1, goes ahead and into P4 as he goes out on the track, and now St. Patrick, as is he gonna pit? No, he's not. What about Praise? No, he's not. So everyone who has pitted is now gonna go back out on track, with Window also going to the pits. But Reggie round the old pit straight now, as we now wait for the drivers to get in line and restart the British Grand Prix here in the BP Racing League Division Round 1, Round 4, Season 7.
Yeah, interesting first 6 laps then from all the lads, or girls, depending on what you. I'm not going to go through that for God's sake, because that's just a waste of time. Let's focus on this. Anyway, Shaz and Reggie, they're P1 and P2, so they haven't made a pit stop yet, and that could hurt them toward the end of the race. But then again, the field will have to do 20 laps on hards depending. But let's have a look at the tyre strategies now, because the strategies would have changed a little bit. Most of the field are on hards and some are on mediums, but what can you do if you're Reggie or Shaz now? Because if you started in them hards, you've got to have stayed out, and there's no choice for you to go on the mediums so early on, apart from a few drivers. But I think a few people have gone on the mediums as well. Because, I mean, it would be a bit early to do 20 laps on a set of mediums, but you might as well give it a go. There's still plenty of rounds left in this championship, so what can you say? There's still a lot of chances to win a race, even if you're Tig in the Williams or even Fatty in the Aston Martin, you know what I mean? So there's still a lot of chances. Anyone can still win this race. But someone's gone into the pit, and that was St. Patrick, who's just gone into diving into the pit lane then. Longest pit straight on the Formula 1 calendar, obviously, and obviously in the BP calendar as well. But yeah, interesting. So the field has bunched up a little bit and has had a little bit of a shuffle. So the field has mixed, and they're not matching as they were since the start of the race. So how much 7 laps can change a Grand Prix? It's unbelievable. Unless you're a racer in real life, then nothing even happens, because Verstappen stays at the top at all times. If anyone touches Verstappen, then your engine blows up. So that's just the way it goes in Formula 1 in real life. But we're in BP, we're in F123, we're in a racing simulation game. Who's going to care at the end of it? So, and engines can't blow up as well, especially in multiplayer. But yeah, the safety car should be in this lap, and we shall get back up to racing speed at any moment now. At the start of lap 8, end of lap 7, and then we'll have to do another 16 laps of, right, if I'm correct, then yeah, 16 laps. Am I
Safety
correct?
cars. It's a 19, because it would be 18, but of course the final lap also counts, so it's 19.
Okay. Well, my maths has not come into play today. It's Saturday, leave me alone. I don't go to school on a Saturday, so...
Does anyone?
No, I hope not, unless you go to Sunday school, or Saturday school.
I don't know that Saturday school exists. I knew Sunday did.
But Sunday...
Mhm.
I think my granddad used to go to Sunday school, actually, saying that.
Okay. Yeah. So Reggie will get this race back underway here, and is he going to catch Shaz off guard here? And he looks like he has. We are back underway for the British Grand Prix here in the BP Racing League, and it's a great start from Reggie. And Window has retired in the pit lane
Oh,
already. That's
wow.
a very interesting move. While going down into turn one, Shaz gonna try and regain some time. STR Noise gonna try and overtake Tig here, and ASR Matt gets the move done on Marco. A great move, but Marco's still there. He's back up into P5, and that is a shock horror. And Lusty as well gonna try and overtake both of them. Going down into Brooklands, no contact made yet. STR Noise is pulled left on Tig, around the outside into Luffield. He's gonna go pedal to the metal now, full throttle, and he's up into P3, and that's a great move from the McLaren driver. But Tig is going to try and stay there. He's going to try and will he go down the inside into Cops? No, he won't.
And there's battles up and down the field as well. There's a battle for second and first. It's all kicking off at the front of the table because they're all squabbling for position. There's Tig there, there's Noise, there's Marco, there's Matt, there's Lucy, there's Liam, there's Plax. They're all there fighting for position at the moment. It's all kicking off at the front of the time sheets. They're all kicking off for position as well. Look at all the drivers squabbling for a podium place. It's all kicking off here in BP at the British Grand Prix. This is more like eSport. This is better than F1 eSports at the moment. They can race better than these F1 eSports drivers. Put these lot in F1 eSports because they can race way better while closer to each other. And that is just absolutely fantastic racing from all 6 of those lots. Oh, Lush is absolutely sent it, but the switchback comes from Tig, but excuse me, it doesn't work for Tig as Matt also trying to get ahead of Tig. Tig is losing too many places now. It's unfortunate for the Williams. The pace of the Williams is just not here at the British Grand Prix today.
Sorry to interrupt you here, but STR Noise is going to go down the inside into Luffield and is up into P1. Definitely the crowd, the AI crowd is definitely cheering for this. The McLaren of STR Noise is up into P1, but Reggie has a response going down before even Cops.
Oh.
And there's almost contact between the two drivers. STR Noise with the switchback. Can he make it? Marco is going to try and slither his way into P2, and we're back to where we were before the safety car. 1-2 for Ferrari and P3 for STR Noise. But now that all of that has calmed down, will Lossie make the move on STR Noise? Down the hanger straight, Marco also pulls to the left on Reggie. Will he make the move? Yes, he will. But here comes STR Noise down the inside on Reggie into a Stowe. STR Noise are back up into P2, and will he overtake Marco down the inside? And that's a great move. But Marco stays there. STR Noise still there.
Oh, he's going for it. He's going for it. He's going for it.
He's ahead.
He's done it. He's done it. No way. What a move from Noise. That is incredible. He's done the double overtake. Look at Lucy as well. He's up into P3 ahead of Reggie. It's all kicking off between the top 4. Are these top 4 your championship contenders? Obviously, we haven't quite known from obviously round 1, 2 and 3. Excuse me again, to see what has happened. Was there a safety car after my crash? Yes, there was, mate. After your crash, there was a safety car. Let Noise cook as well, being said in the chat.
So yeah, this is getting very interesting here, and STR Noise is slowly starting to pull away from Marco, and Lussie is gonna try and regain all those places back. He's still 1 position down on where he was earlier, so it is now all heading down. And can Lussie, after that big mistake in lap 1 into the loop, can he regain that all back? DRS flap open on Marco, and there is no ERS, but he still has the pace. Can he go down the inside into Stowe? No, he can't. But yes, he can actually! Down the inside into Stowe. Marco gets forced wide off the track, and he's going to try and go around the outside into Vale, and Marco stays ahead into P2, but it's still neck and neck between the Ferrari and the Red Bull.
Incredible racing from these lot. Yet again, the top 3, they're all kind of spreading out from each other now, is Noise and Marco and Lucy. Something that's happened to Shaz I didn't quite catch because we kind of weren't listening at the same time as well. But the top 3 are all spreading out now. The gap is growing bigger,
Take his round.
bigger and bigger. Oh dear. He's had such a fantastic Saturday afternoon, and it's all crumbled with a flick of a switch, like Thanos clicking his fingers, and yeah, just the whole world disappearing
Hmm.
in front of Tig's eyes. But yeah,
Also,
P15 now.
and will there be team orders with the two AlphaTauris? Kryplax looking quick. Will Peace Control Tom let him through? And this is an absolute last to now P8. So 12 positions gained, and there you go. Tom jeers out the way, and Kryplax has made another place here for P7. But will Tom not give up? Will he not give up and try and fight for the position? Yes, he will. He's going to pull to the left, pedal to the metal. DRS lap open, overtake is on, and is back up into P7. Now it's a AlphaTauri skirmish, and Martin gets his front wing in the mix down the straight, going now into the chicane, which will end lap 11.
Oh, look at the Alpine of Nicholas. He's trying to go side by side with Matt's teammate, and he's got the move done. He's up into the top 10. But look at these three all scrapping out for position as we enter the 12th lap here at the British Grand Prix. Look at Fatty and Nicholas going side by side. Oh, that is hard racing at its finest right there. They're going at each other like they hate each other, like in a championship battle or something. But it is for 1 point. 1 point is so crucial in every championship, in every season. But the prize money is always there for people to, obviously, well, not prize money, but you understand positions are positions and you want to gain them. But back to the top three now. The gap has come down between Noise, Marco and Lucy. Matt is now 1.5, 1.6 seconds behind. Reggie just right behind. The penalties are starting to fly in and out, trying to just, get everyone out of their way of exceeding track limits of their warnings, but you don't want a penalty. That's the last thing you want because you will get bumped down the order as well. But there is Marco now gaining on Noise. He's gaining. He's settling back a little bit, so he doesn't overtake Noise just yet. He's waiting for something to occur. But look at Lucy. He's trying to go side by side here with Marco. Backs out. Fair enough. You don't want to be making contact this early in the race. We're now halfway through the Grand Prix. As we cross the line, we are now officially halfway through the British Grand Prix.
Yes, this has been a very eventful race since the safety car, and obviously the top three have always been neck and neck, front wings, banging wheels, and everything is being just thrown in there like a blender. And this has just released an absolute dopamine of entertainment here. But down the straight, Lussy, can he make the move before Brooklands? I don't believe he can, but Marco is slowly crossing the gap against STR Noise here. 3 tenths, it was 5 tenths earlier. But now STR Noise finally catches a second win and slowly starts to pull away again. And Marco is slowly dropping the pace and falls back into Lussy. Lussy going down into Cops. He's going to back out. He's not going to make the move. He knows the risks of making the move into a Cops corner. And we've seen it before in real life as well. I've seen it before in a different league. And there was obviously contact between first and second. And one obviously went spinning. But Lussy has now got an amazing wind of speed. He's going to pull to the right. And is he ahead of the Ferrari? Yes, he is going into Stowe. But will Marco have a response? He goes wide a little. So does STR Noise. Everyone goes wide. Marco with the first penalty. I don't know why he's getting the penalty. I don't believe that was even a warning. That shouldn't be. Lussy's rear. Skirms a little. STR Noise! Spins almost and goes off the track and is now down into P3, and that is something you don't want to see for a driver like STR Noise. He must be kicking himself after that.
It's all kicking off here at the front three. They're all fighting. They're all scrapping. Like it's some sort of World War III or something here at the front of the time sheet. But Lucy now is your new race leader, the championship leader at the moment. And he is keeping that championship lead at grudge between the two behind him as well. Noise is very quick. Marco is also very quick, as you see from round one. Well, as I've seen from round one, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, the top three somehow staying within each other of a DRS train. But World War Three, Jesus, man. Yeah, I think World War Three. Obviously, there's no bombs going off or anything, but a little bit of contact being made, noise.
It's a racing
Just
World War Three.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to put it into. But we can also call it World War Three if you like to.
That's an obvious name for it.
Maybe dive bomb. I love it, steps. Love it. Love it. Dive bomb. Anyway, back to the racing. Marco trying to stick in that DRS of Lucy. Lap 15 out of 26 here at the British Grand Prix. They're all trying to stay within a gap of each other, trying to stay in that DRS. Matt can't stay in that DRS. Reggie just about as well. Alpha 3 seconds behind the Ferrari of Reggie. But there's some good points being played here for Red Bull, Ferrari, not quite McLaren or Mercedes, but mainly for Red Bull and Ferrari. They're having an absolute field day in that top six. They're
Yeah,
going to grab some massive points here today after the fourth round. But yeah, 15 laps, 14 laps have gone by. We're on lap 15, and this race has turned out to be a show and a half at the moment. These drivers are putting in some extra effort to put some phenomenal work and some phenomenal racing into the spanner. And it's just all going so well for all these drivers. We have 2 DNFs in this Grand Prix, quite expected from the bottom guys, to be honest. But DRS is open for Marco. He's going to gain a few tenths here on Lucy, but it's not enough because the Hanger straight is not quite long enough for an overtake. Maybe at the first straight, just after Aintree. So yeah, you've just got to wait for something to happen. Noise is out of the DRS, he's not gaining anything, so it's now down to the top two. Will the top two do anything, or is this race calming down just a little bit more?
that is a good question, and I don't think this is just over yet. Marco is obviously going to pull back in, and STR Noise is slowly gaining the gap once again in DRS range. Did he cross? Was he within 1 second before the DRS detection zone? Yes, he was. So now he's going to cling on. He's going to grapple onto the Marco, the rear of the Scarlet Red Ferrari, and he's just going to drill himself in, and he could be back into contention for the race win. And there's an obvious and there is a very well-known team logo currently at the top with his teammate down in P6. That is kind of realistic if you think about it. Perez being the kind of, you can say, the disciple that can't, no offense, can't really perform compared to the Verstappen. And obviously Alpha falling back to Reggie. Speaking
Oh,
of Reggie, he's
Reggie!
rounded the exit of cops, and that is very unlucky for the Ferrari driver. And zooming by, and he's out of the
Oh,
points.
Reggie!
And here comes
Could
the
have
12th
easily
and
grabbed some easy
13th.
points.
And he's down into 13th, and that's very, very costly for Ferrari. And we've kind of jinxed it with the everyone chilling here. And Alpha now is up into P5, and now there's going to be ASR Matt heading into the pits, and that is interesting. And Marco dropping back, but never mind, he is still within DRS range. It is not really confirmative. He is getting DRS for this Wellington straight, but it is draining. The gaps are getting bigger, and it's getting more and more less eventful. It has been now 10 laps, or yeah, just around 10 laps since the end of the safety car. It's lap 17 out of 26. 10 laps to go here in Silverstone, and let's see what these last 10 laps brings us here in round 4.
Yeah, the race is now starting to calm down a little bit, apart from that Reggie incident down at Cops Corner on lap 16. But yeah, this is where it's all starting to calm down now, because Marco is 1.1 seconds behind Lucy. It's out of that DRS range. It's such a shame for Marco and Noise, because they were absolutely phenomenal battling Lucy. But Lucy seems to be the quickest guy. Red Bull are the quickest team after all, but Ferrari just can't keep up. Neither can McLaren. But that is fantastic racing from the top three today. Maybe it's not over just yet. If another safety car comes out, then people will be putting on the soft compound tyre probably.
Sorry to
But
interrupt you, but Praise zooms by Nicholas down the inside, even before Stowe up into P5. The Aston Martin roars ahead of the Alpine, while Shaz is slowly making his way back up the field. Praise is gaining more and more points for the Aston Martin party, and now is up into P5. STR Noise in the pits, and it's an obvious change for soft compound tyres, and now that is soft for the McLaren, and let's see how much time he can gain and can even pull in the fastest lap of this Grand Prix.
yeah, Noise is now dropping out of the points. Maybe there's more pit stops to come. Maybe this was a two-stop race after that safety car after all. But if there were no safety cars, it definitely would have been a one-stop for sure. But maybe people boxed a little bit too early and people will now have to do a two-stop race. But that's the game. That's how Formula One works at the end of the day. There's nothing you can change about it. We're in the online world now. You can't press your flashback and go again. But not, you can't even flash back that far back to the race in the race. So, it's that's how it works, unfortunately. Praise has got 3 second. People are getting 3 second time penalties like there's no tomorrow at the moment. But look at Marco. He's got no pace. It's becoming so troublesome at the moment for Ferrari. But will he come into the pit lane? No, he stays out. Patrick gets ahead of Tig. Who knows why? Because Tig has spun and his weekend goes from bad to worse now. And you couldn't have asked for a worse weekend than Tig's, because he was inside the points here earlier on in the afternoon. But as I say, that's how the game goes. You can't change nothing about it. You go again next week. Liam has dropped Praise. Look at all the people now heading into the pit lane because their tyres are too worn out to carry on to the end of lap 26. So the
By the
Aston
way,
Martin peels in.
sorry to
Yep.
interrupt you here, but speaking about penalties, you can see here we have a couple of 5 second penalties dashed in for Tig and Peace Control Tom, but then also if we look here, Martin with a 9 second penalty, 3 second penalties for Reggie, AG, maybe Matt, could be Marco, surprisingly. We saw it earlier, but those three. I mean, I'm not really sure about AG, but the other drivers I mentioned were more known for not getting the penalties while the rest did. So that's really interesting. OJB is soon to be lapped any moment
And
by
Tig has decided to retire from the Grand Prix. His weekend now goes from worse to really bad. So yeah, that's such a shame for Tig, because he could have easily had a few points on the board here today. But look at Plax and Martin going at it. Two soft runners in the game. Actually, no, Martin's on the medium. Sorry about that. I've just been asked to put up the tyres, so there you go. Steps, here are the tyres for you, mate. Noise is on the softs. He's on one lap old softs compared to Matt and Reggie. They're on older softs. So look at Prize as well. He's just 1 second behind. And a Regulus comes into the pit lane for a fresh set of rubber. Noise gets the fastest lap. But maybe, can Lucy go to the end? Can Marco go to the end? Can Alpha go to the end? And even Nicholas, Tom and Liam. But that's going to be the main question, because Noise is on fresh softs, only 7 seconds behind. Will he be able to gain 7 seconds in 7 laps? So he's got to gain he's got to gain a bit more than a second a lap. He's got to gain around 10 seconds a lap if he wants to catch up to P1. But I doubt that's ever going to happen, because cars don't go that quick unless you're in, I don't know, unless you're in a Aston Martin Road League or F1 car, then yeah. But yeah, this is the boring part now. We've just got to wait until the race ends or something to happen, because these last 6 laps, they're going to be so crucial to the drivers to just keep going. Lucy stays out, so I can guess he will go to the end of the race, which will be the suited option, unless he does not get a puncture. If he gets a puncture, then that's going to tell us about Marco, Alpha, Nicholas, Tom, and Liam as well. So that could give Noise the race win here today. But Lucy seems to be in control at the moment and seems to be in good form and shape.
Speaking of the tyres, for a second I think I can slowly make out the tyre like wearing off, like the hard tyre for Lucy. I can kind of see it, especially when there's like very hard sunlight. That I can slowly see a line being formed there, and going now into Woodcote is Lucy in P1. But as we go further down the order, this may not be for points. Cryplax, who I've just noticed he has lagged out, is now no, that's not Cryplax. That was
I
OJB
think that's
actually.
owed, yeah, because he's been lapped.
Yeah. For a sec, I
Yeah,
thought
I
that
was
was
gonna say,
Cryplax.
yeah, I was gonna say if that was Cryplax, that'd have been game over for him. There'd been no points for him for the weekend. But he's got a penalty right in front of him to face against, which is Fatty, who's the one that's got the penalty, not Cryplax. So Cryplax is in a very good position for some points here today, and AlphaTauri really are going to need some points. And maybe if he does get some points, it will kind of impress the team bosses at the front of the field a little bit more. But look at Nicholas as well. He's up in P4 in an Alpine. Tom, P5 in an AlphaTauri, but look how hot old their hards are. They've been going on since the first safety car come out, and probably will be the last safety car of the race, the first and only safety car that will come out, because we've only got 5 laps to go here at the British Grand Prix, which, you know, it's been a fantastic Grand Prix to watch today. Even in qualifying Q1, 2 and 3, every single driver has give it their all for the best stream possible here today and the best commentary possible. And obviously Nico here with me today to help me a little bit more. So that is well appreciated, Nico.
It's
But
alright. It's alright.
yeah, anyway, the top 6 they're just biding by the time. Noise at the moment is provisionally P6 at best. It's not going to be great championship points for Noise here today, unfortunately.
Actually, it's
So
P5 because Tom has a 5-second penalty.
Okay. So 5 second penalty for Tom. So he's provisionally P5 then. Thanks for clearing that one, Nico. Weren't quite watching the penalties, but there you go. There are the penalties, and that's it. That's what we're going to look at for today. So you've looked at the tyres. These drivers will now go to the end of the race. If Marco or Lucy pit, that's it. That's them finished. They will not get one or first or second. But look at Liam. Liam's got ahead of Tom, and that could help Noise a little bit more because Tom has 5 second penalty and Liam has a 3 second, so it would make a little bit more sense for the drivers. But actually, Noise is more than 3 seconds of Liam, so provisionally now it's P6 for Noise.
So if STR Noise gets this pace going, keeps it cleanly, and is in P5, he could act on track. Obviously, he will actually be getting P4 with obviously Nicholas with the penalty. So now he overtakes Peace Control
Yeah,
Tom,
look how close he is now.
and if he gets into 2 tenths behind Liam, it is P4. And never mind, he doesn't even need. Oh, never
No.
mind. It is still a 3 second gap between Nicholas and STR Noise. So STR Noise needs to gain that speed with possibly needs to get away from Liam, and Liam will obviously have DRS, which won't be ideal and could hurt STR Noise's run for P4. And it could even be P3 if he gains enough time here in the next 3 laps.
Yeah, Noise, I think he has this one in the bag. I think he just went for the fastest lap attempt, and I think he does currently
No,
have
Shaz
the
has it.
fastest lap. Oh, no, okay. That's put a different bit into the story then. Martin is now overtaking Plax. Nice and easy. That's very easy from Martin there, as his mediums are starting to come to life. I think that's the only tyre he had left in the bank then for the Sauber. So that's quite a shame then, because he couldn't go for a lap time a little bit faster than he would have liked. But look at the top 6. It's, well, shall we say top 7 now, because Noise has broke the top 6 into a bit of a piece here. So Noise is the only man in the top 7 on a fresh set of tyres. So, yeah, we have now 2 laps to go. There's a 10-second gap between Lussi and Marco. Around 10 laps ago, this would have been a show fest. This would have been absolutely wild. It would have been some wild battles. But 10 laps later, it's just a ball fest now.
Yeah, and it's not really entertaining. We have to really now. It is more entertaining if you go further down the order, but it's obviously most when we have a fight for P1. And ever since STR Noise dived into the pits or just made that mistake, it has, as you said, has been a ball fest. And now STR Noise could sneak back onto the podium if he gains 4 more tenths, sorry, on Alpha. So there could be a spotlight for STR Noise from going P1, making a mistake and going down to P9, and then goes into the pits, gets into P7, and then gets into P3 now, as he is now with less than 3 seconds behind Alpha, and maybe he can make the move on track. He does have
Matt's
2.5 seconds.
getting ahead of Tom. Sorry to interrupt you, Nico, but Matt has just got ahead of the AlphaTauri of Tom. Tom's pace has been excellent today, to be honest, managing to get up into the top 10. So we've got to give it a big shout to the AlphaTauris as well. Plax has had a very good Grand Prix as well, starting from last as well. But one man who I have to give my driver of the day to is Lussi, because he was 19th. He was 19th at one point in the Grand Prix. It was lap 1. He was 19th. He spun on the first lap. And yeah, he's made his way back up to the top. What a comeback drive. He's going to start the final lap here at the British Grand Prix. He's conquered every aspect of this race. He's 14 seconds ahead of Marco in second in the Scarlet Ferrari. And he has just been an absolute phenomenon to watch here today. It's almost like Max Verstappen and Red Bull toward the end of a Grand Prix. The start is always a bit shaky for Verstappen, same with Lussi. But Lussi has gone on to conquer the Grand Prix, 14, nearly 15 seconds ahead of Marco. 10 laps ago, this would have been an absolutely crazy race. But now he's gone on to dominate. He's got a little bit of a tank slapper there. But he won't care. He's still in the mix. He's still going to win this Grand Prix unless something happens now. But I really can't see it, because he is so consistent everywhere he goes at the moment. He's looking very sharp. He's going through Maggots and Beckett's now. He's just absolutely stealing the show off the other drivers. He's taking them all the way to the end. But no one can catch Lussi here today. OJB is going to be lapped twice if Lussi can catch up to him. But he will. Yeah, he will. But that's not what matters for now. Lussi has gone on to conquer. Yeah, exactly. He's gone on to conquer. And he's 15 seconds clear of the next car behind. Lussi comes round the final corner. Red Bull and Lussi take the British Grand Prix. And it is another race win for Lussi here in BP Season 7. He has dominated the show. He's stolen it from everyone. And he's conquered. And he is my driver of the day for sure. Marco comes home in a strong P2. He'll take that any day. Look at Noise. He comes home to finish in a podium position. He'll take that any day. And Alpha P4. Nicholas comes across the line. He'll finish P5. Liam P6. What a day for Alpine this has been, because they have grabbed some massive points. And they'll take that any day. Matt has spun on the line, he'll take P7. Tom, what a Grand Prix he's had. Maybe the teams up above should have a look for him, because he's just finished P8 in an AlphaTauri. Reggie's not had the greatest of Grand Prix. It's been a miserable one for him ever since he spun at Copse Corner. So P9 for him. P10 is Plax. P11 Fatty. P12. Oh, it's a hard one for Shaz here this weekend. He finishes P12. St Patrick P13. He's had a decent Grand Prix, to be honest. Nothing to talk about him much, to be honest. Martin P14. Nothing to talk about him much, really. He's not finished, okay? Interesting. And that's it then. The McLaren was the last one to come across the line. And that wraps up a fantastic British Grand Prix. And my driver of the day, I'm pretty sure your driver of the day is also Lucy as well. Unless you've got a different driver of the day. Let's have.
I do.
Do ya? Oh, okay. Let's
It
have a.
is Liam
Yeah.
for me personally.
Liam.
He obviously had that skirmish. He was obviously in Q2, if we remember, a 1:56 he set. He couldn't set a proper lap time. Started P14. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, he did make contact with Patrick, which must have slowed him down a little bit. And then finally to come home in P6, I believe it was, is absolutely great. And also, don't forget, in an Alpine is also very amazing, and also beating the likes of Reggie and Shaz, and obviously, which also means that he's obviously not a Div 1 driver. I believe he's a Div 3 or Div 2. He's one of the two. But congrats. And Liam gets so your driver of the day is Lassie, and for me it will be Liam. 6th to 14th is just 14th to 6th, sorry, is absolutely amazing. Also, same for Cryplax, 20th to 10th. But now, we're just now going to have to focus on some interviews. We have Estianois and Lucy. Marco doesn't speak, I don't think he speaks English, if I remember, he told me that. But here we go. I've invited the two in.
That's fine. But that wraps up a brilliant Grand Prix, and now we're going to move on to the interviews.
Now, is it just going to be just you, Estianois?
I'll see. I don't know if Lassie's gonna join. I think he will, but I'll message him now. Actually.
Oh, okay. Nico, I'll let you take the interviews away, alright, mate?
Alright,
I'll keep on streaming though, so.
recapture everything.
Yeah, I will, don't worry.
I mean, Noise, just because you got P3, we could just start your interview now.
Yeah.
Alright, so Estiano is P3. A great performance. Could have been better, but it was still all right. So, how do you feel out the back of that?
Yeah, I think P3 is the max that we could have got today. For some reason, like my tires were just kept falling off. I think that's why I lost the rest to both Marco and Lassie at the second stint, I think it was. And then after that, there was about 9 or 8 laps left, and then I had about 45%. So I was either gonna suffer towards the end, and maybe get a puncture, or just risk it and go for softs and then just battle it out. And then I took the risk, and yeah, I got P3 on track. So yeah, pretty good result.
Yeah, and obviously you had that mistake in the final corner. And do you feel angry about that moment? Do you think you could have done better without that moment?
Nah, I mean, before that corner, I did get a little tap from Lassie, but it was all good. But I think I kind of lost a little bit of concentration there, and then, but yeah, luckily I did save it, which was good, because if I spun, my race would have been an entirely different story. But yeah, I mean, it's all good. Didn't really affect my race anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, so well done for P3 and making that comeback from P9. And if you want to tune in, that's alright. So now we're gonna have Lassie's interview. Before Lassie, we start your interview, just news coming. Tom has just said he had 87% on his front left. Please control Tom. The Alpha Tauri. Yeah, then hard. Yeah, so well done for the Grand Prix win, and this extends your lead. So now you now have, if correct me if I'm wrong, is it 103 points now after 4 rounds, which is amazing. And how do you feel? Yeah. Also, by the way, Alfred, do you have any questions for Lusty and Noise? If just
Wow,
quickly.
no, I don't at all. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
So that's everything. So Lusty and Lusty and Noise have a good rest of your afternoon. Probably, you guys are probably gonna watch the Fortnite live event. I'm just gonna see Eminem. I'm just gonna watch Eminem as the world just destroys. All right. Have a good one, lads.
Yeah, you too, man. See you lot.
Yeah. So to the guys watching on obviously Alfie's stream and my stream, we'll see you probably for my stream tomorrow for Prestige. You may even see me tomorrow commentating a different league at 3. But we'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye, everyone.